kind of crazy when mainstream games journalists want to cover the wild success of Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Like, they'll never cover it in a positive sense, the fact that it is a gigantic game, and even right now, at time of recording, nearly 42,000 people, 52,000 over the past day, and oh yeah, just about 250,000 concurrent players. Like, it's the runaway hit of the fall season. I don't know if anything is going to be able to appropriately fill the gap, but the only time that the likes of IGN and Kotaku want to talk about it is, actually, they screwed up, and if you guys actually cared about the lore that much, you would be holding Saber Interactive to task because, got the ankle arbor wrong, and Games Workshop had to inform them of doing that. Look at how stupid they are. I thought you guys cared about the lore. Oh, you're just a bunch of bigots who don't want to see women as custodians. Because here's their regular scheduled fare, right? Like, Saber won't say whether their CEO wrote this highly baity comment about the games imposing morals on gamers. Oh yeah, written by somebody that looks like they have to knock on the doors and inform their new neighbors as to some of their more regrettable decisions they made in their past. But yesterday I watched a YouTube video about Warhammer 40k Space Marines in which a sundry gesticulating milords of the internet opined that they had forgot what it's like to be the target audience for games hailing the new and for our money fairly good Warhammer 40k shooter is a throwback affair that oozes masculinity. Yeah, nothing quite says someone who unironically shrieks about toxic masculinity. Somebody who gets confused for the stunt double of Keith Apicary. I then combed through several thousand comments below said video. Oh, it must be nice to be on a page that actually has that much interaction, right, Edwin? Many of which express similar longing for the hypothetical good old days before these wily feminists invaded the medium, transformed every game into a big gay weeping simulator, and then threw all real men into a big hole. I did this because I was searching for one particular comment written by someone claiming to be Matthew Karch, CEO of Space Marines 2 developer Saber Interactive. Yeah, the video that he's referencing and is too much of a bitch to reference is the Asmongold video talking about, him playing Space Marines and having a good time. And his comment here, hey man, CEO of Saber here, I love your videos, and when he signed the deal to make Space Marines 2, all I wanted was a throwback game, and we had the chance to work on something which by its nature was old school. I can't even comprehend many of the current games that we play these days. They're too complex and too much of an investment. We worked on Halo back in the day, and the game could be distilled down to the simplest of shooting loops, but it was entirely addicting. That is what we wanted to recapture. I hope that games like Space Marine 2 and Wukong are the start to the reversion to games when games were simply about fun and immersion. I spent some time as Chief Operating Officer at Embracer, and I saw games there that made me want to cry with their overblown attempts at messaging or imposing morals on gamers. We just want to do some glory kills and get the heart rate up a little. For me, that's what games should be about. There's his comment on that video in full. We talked about it, and it's like, you know what, hey, when I hear more developers talk like that, or even hell, the father of Dragon Quest, Yuji Horii, bemoan the neo-puritanical proclivities of Western gaming and how stupid it is, I agree and I appreciate their perspective. But if you work at sites like Rock Paper Shotgun, answer 3 things you should put in your mouth at the same time. In it, the poster thanks YouTuber Asmongold for his video and characterizes Space Marine 2 together with the recent Black Myth Wukong as a reversion to old school era, while the games were simply about fun and immersion. He also mentions games he allegedly encountered during his time and noted layoff manufacturer Embracer. The comment has now been seized upon by wildly disseminated as Saber coming out as anti-woke being appropriated catch-all term for left-wingers, and especially those who campaign against racism. Yes, because there's so many people that are out there that are pro-racism, you disingenuous fuck. Transphobia and sexism. This is what they care about. This is what Embracer Group cares about, the other large shareholder and the custodians of the Warhammer IP. They're the same people that, despite seeing the success of Space Marine 2, I understand that it was developed by a different studio, but it is still the same IP. Understanding that, hey, if we get modern deisms out of our IP, people really like what we're doing. okay? But no. They're just going to go down with the ship, you know, with anything that is seemingly popular that they have the control over, like, I don't know, everybody's favorite actor, even though they can't really reference one specific role that he was in. Maybe Mission Impossible Fallout, and from Uncle, maybe. But Henry Cavill finally getting the opportunity to do something that can actually take advantage of his talents, and then having the rug pulled out from underneath of him because Embracer and Amazon are full of idiots. Games Workshop and Amazon and entirely content to let Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40k live-action project die, because following up the success of Space Marines 2 with an equally based project from a legit Warhammer nerd, yeah, that was too much of a victory. You need to find a way to stick several chicks in it, make them custodians, and make them lame and gay. A new rumor claims the Games Workshop and Amazon are entirely content to let Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40k live-action TV or film project die. In Games Workshop 2024 annual report, the company seemingly confirmed a rumor from YouTuber Arch, who claimed in June, and yeah, we talked about it then. Right now, the agreement in principle between Games Workshop and Amazon appears to be in effect. This means that a team at Amazon, a team of writers, is right now trying to write out a story that is going to be turned into the Warhammer 40k television show. They have, I believe, a few more months on this deadline for the project that they have to hand it in, and then either has to be greenlit or they have to have their writing date further postponed in the hopes that they can produce something better further down the line. The entire project will be shelved. Yeah, because I think the last time we talked about this, they had to have something in either by the end of the year or by the end of November, and apparently they just keep on kicking the can down the road. He added there are three opportunities. Either they'll have the project they'll go ahead with, they'll shelve the whole thing, or they will extend the deadline to try to get a decent project going. In other words, nothing is finalized yet. Absolutely nothing. There isn't even any money for the project allocated, as far as my insiders can tell on Amazon's behalf. And we see the way that Amazon throws around money, so the fact that there is no money set aside for this project kind of lets you know the future of it, that there is none. No writing staff has been truly hired, no money has been truly allocated, no plans have been truly made. The company's annual report, it states Games Workshop and Amazon have been working together for a period of 12 months ending December 2024 to agree creative guidelines for the films and television series to be developed by Amazon. The agreement will only proceed if the creative guidelines are mutually agreed upon between Workshop and Amazon. We will update you accordingly. Okay, yeah, so it is the end of the year. The report also detailed that if things do go well, Amazon has the rights to develop Warhammer Fantasy as well. It states that under the terms of the agreement, Games Workshop has granted exclusive rights to Amazon in relation to films and television series within the Warhammer 40k universe. On one hand, that's good because Amazon has pockets deeper than the throat of a rock, paper, shotgun employee. Then on the other hand, this is also the studio that brought you Rings of Power, so 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It licensed equivalent rights to the Warhammer Fantasy universe following the release of the initial 40k production. Yeah, now Arch provided an update where he shared it's been complete radio silence on the matter of the TV show ever since we had the last update and the last time around. It appears as if both Amazon and Games Workshop are entirely content to just let the project die. Even with a 1-month extension into January, nothing seems to have been produced. Still no money is allocated. Still no accounts have been created. Still no contracts have been signed. So yeah, it's not looking great. Arch did provide details on Henry Cavill's role with the project. It was previously announced back in December of 2023 that Cavill would be championing a group of screenwriters to bring a Warhammer 40k project to live action and would be serving as executive producer. Games Workshop stated in a blog post, all we can tell you right now is that the elite band of screenwriters, each of their own particular passion for Warhammer, is being assembled to help bring the setting and characters you love to the screen. This illustrious group will be championed by Henry Cavill, who stands ready to take his place as executive producer, bring his pen, sword, and/or spear to the project. As for when the first project might arrive, Games Workshop detailed TV and film production as a mammoth undertaking. It's usual projects that take up to 2 to 3 years at this point before something arrives on screen. Still, things are now properly rolling, sure they are, and you can bet we'll bring you all the latest updates and cool snippets as soon as we're able. And remember, that blog post was back December 2023, coming on, what, 10 months. Arch's most recent update, he shared, Henry Cavill's influence is likely extraordinarily limited if he has any influence in the matter at all at the moment. Oh my god, he's getting Superman'd again. He makes this conclusion given he doesn't have an employment contract with Amazon or Games Workshop, merely the promise that if the product ever actually goes through, he will have a role in it. Oh, so he was just trying to will this into existence, and Games Workshop was trying to drum up enthusiasm for the project. Fantastic. So once again, he was getting squandered. Like, he must have been a serial killer in a prior life or something. I mean, man is cursed. Absolutely cursed. So, okay, well, Arch claims that there has been radio silence since the last update. He did provide some information on the negotiations up to this point. Both sides have concessions. A female custodies thing, for example, was almost guaranteed, in my opinion. A move on behalf of Games Workshop to placate Amazon or demonstrate to them that they would have... to them, what would happen if they push for female space marines? Massive outcry that it is, and to hammer it home to them that, yeah, this is not going to be a very good idea. Arch continued, meanwhile, of course, Amazon has their diversity quotas, and they also want the space marines, and it's really interested in an Imperial Guard show, I'd reckon, because they're not the poster child, even if the Imperial Guard show would be, well, 1, cheaper, 2, more easily relatable, and 3, goddamn, just make a movie out of this Cyphus Cain, goddamn it. Henry Cavill as Cyphus Cain, and it would work so goddamn well. I mean, fair enough. There's nobody else who's going to know the lore better than Arch, so yeah, okay, fair enough. As for Amazon's concessions, he noted, they did give Games Workshop the account access, for example, to flag various items on Amazon's website, take down things that were, Games Workshop were the opinion, were the violation of their trademark. Yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense. Oh, okay, that's where that big woke dummy came in earlier this year. Okay, where he had that female custodies. Okay. She was a part of some Games Workshop short, Tithes episode 2. Interesting. But yeah, man, I'll be looking, be eagerly anticipating if they somehow manage to screw up yet another Henry Cavill production, because what, you could just throw that on the big old list of companies that have managed to mismanage this guy's talents. Paramount not following his character up from Mission Impossible with anything. I understand that he died at the end of it. I guess spoilers for a movie that's, what, 6 years old at this point in time. Warner Brothers with, Superman, and now Amazon. It's like, he's a ready-made movie star. It's just, I guess he's too based, too much of a stand-up quality guy for the system to truly accept. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.